for those of you watching this on Friday, we just posed for our thumbnail. So that's what that was. I want to say, like, this is really funny. When I was editing this last week, Substack just rolled out these really creepy AI generated thumbnails. They're like, it was creepy. We all had these like creepy smiles and like we didn't have any pores. And I was like, no, please, no. Um, okay, guys, open
Okay.
tab.
Well, you have to like screenshot that. Maybe the options, like maybe we roll them out and have our massive fandom vote.
We can vote on it. Does this AI thumbnail creep you out? Yes or no?
Yes, these are enough poll.
Okay, guys, open tabs, January 21st. A lot of like fun stuff for us to talk about. Wanted to break some news on this Wednesday afternoon. Alix Earle is officially getting a Netflix show. Very, very exciting. She launched like the news in a Get Ready With Me on her platforms, which I thought was like perfect for her and her brand. And from what I can see, it looks like it'll be very like keeping up with the Kardashians. Like they talked a lot about like her crazy blended family and like there's so many different personalities, and I think her sister is going to play a big role in it. So guys, thoughts and reactions?
I think this is really smart of Netflix, first of all. Like, I think that they're really looking to compete with YouTube. And I think they're trying to figure out how do we get it in on that creator game. And I think even like the Meghan Markle show, I think was a bit of an attempt at that. And I feel like I say attempt because she gets so much hate, but it's been successful. People watch it. And so I think like getting more into this lifestyle creator space and in a way to compete with YouTube, I think Alix Earle is the perfect choice. I will definitely be watching this show. I personally love Ashton. She's my favorite. I love her style. And so I'm going to tune in and see what it's all about.
I was gonna say, I feel like Netflix is like trying to play in all the spaces too. Like even just beyond competing with YouTube. Like I actually was really compelled to tune into that new competitor to the Housewives. Like I feel like they're really trying to get in on like the Housewives world.
What's it called?
It's it's like not Miami, it's Palm Beach.
Right.
What is it?
It's just called Palm Beach.
It's definitely in the title. Let's see.
What is it called? Members. It's called Members Only Palm Beach.
Members
and
Only Palm
it's
Beach.
interesting. I was I actually caught a really crazy. Who was the housewife from OC who ended up marrying like like one of the Fox News hosts? What's her name? Kelly Dodd. I don't know. She and her husband have a YouTube show. And like there had been some news that came out. I think she and her daughter were like publicly feuding on social media or something. And so I was like, I don't know. I happened to Yes. Oh my gosh, the Beckhams. But I am like Team Victoria, by the way. I have so many thoughts. But anyway, they were in the midst of all of that. I ended up catching some of their YouTube show and they were talking about members only. And I thought it was interesting to hear Kelly Dodd. It's like interesting to hear anyone who has been a housewife or is an existing housewife to talk about sort of reality shows in the same vein. And she was saying that like, I think that the producers of this are some of the same producers that have done other housewives shows. And they were talking about how they like the characters and all of it. And it actually compelled me to tune in and watch it. I don't love it as much. It's a little bit different, like similar to like the $1 million listing kind of, copies that are on Netflix now too. Like Ryan Serhant has like a whole thing on there. Like it just doesn't hit the same as at Bravo, but it's just all in the same vein of like trying to compete in that space and like get some of that fandom, I think. But back to the Alix Earle of it. Yeah, I mean, I think this was inevitable. I wonder if there was like a bidding war or something over this, like concept. Like it feels like it was prime. Um, and I think inevitable. And I don't really know anything about her family, so I think I'm interested to see what it comes to. And I think that, like, I mean, if you mentioned the Kardashians, it seems like the Kardashians are really like thriving in their new space, in the space that they're in now versus like, back when they were on E. I don't know. Do you guys have thoughts on that? Like how the show is now versus how it used to be?
I'm
I just so tuned out of the
yeah.
Kardashians. Like I've just like blocked them, I think, even on some platforms. Like today I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about Kim gave her kids 4 Pomeranian puppies for Christmas.
Oh
And I
yeah.
was surprised that I hadn't heard about this. I was like,
Oh, I
it's
heard
been
about that. It
years.
was sort of
And I haven't
controversial.
heard about it's very controversial. Like littermate syndrome is real. This is like the third time she's gotten a very cute, fluffy animal that like I'm not convinced will still be around much longer. But and also it's coincidental that Chloe just got her kids a dog and then Kim's like, you know what? Let's get four. I'm like, okay, just let Chloe have her moment. But anyways, I'm so tuned out of the Kardashians that I can't really say, but I know that they've still got their core fan base, but I think they've plateaued in terms of their cultural relevance, and I don't think that they're going to have kind of like the moment in the sun again. But I think that Alex could be Gen Z's Kim Kardashian for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a pretty good. That's a
I
pretty
feel
good.
like she's definitely angling for that, a more relatable Kim Kardashian, because she is still very much trying to be relatable. And yeah, I'm similar to you, Megan. I'm just not interested in the Kardashian like ecosystem anymore. I used to this always seems to happen. I'm like, I love reality TV. I've been watching Bravo since I was way too young with my mom. Um, and I always love like the scrappiness of like the first few seasons of a show. And when they start like producing themselves, it's
It
just
it gets ruined.
it
Yeah.
gets ruined. And like I feel like what made the Kardashians so interesting was their like unrelenting ambition and scrappiness and like literally watching them claw their way into like Hollywood and relevance. And now that they're there, it's like they're not the underdogs anymore, even though they try to like frame themselves as still like you're a billionaire. like
I
um,
also think that they rode kind of a new model of media and social
Mhm.
media and entertainment, like transmedia, this transmedia storytelling that was happening in terms of like something would happen and you would get like bits and dribbles of the drama, and then you knew that you were going to get to see the behind the scenes on the show. And I think that the landscape has just changed so much that it's not like that anymore. And I wonder how I have faith in Alex that she'll figure this out. But I think the Kardashians are now like they're too controlled. Like they're very millennial in the way that they want to control what the brand is and they won't do anything that's like off brand. And I feel like Alex is just so much more unfiltered. And even I don't know if you saw, she has a new show like online too, where she's like in her glam room and she had Jake Shane on and he asked her, would you rather all your money get taken or all your texts get released? And she's like, I mean, my text release, like that's fine. Like, I'll just have to say. And like I think that like I don't think it wasn't that she didn't have anything to hide. She was just like, I mean, it is what it is. And I think that's kind of her mentality of like, I am who I am, take it or leave it, that I think will play really well to Gen Z in a way that I think Kim Kardashian just was never going to give herself fully over. I mean, rightfully so. I think it is a lot. And I think that Alex is uniquely suited to be this person for Gen Z. And I
Yeah.
think also this is part of why her and Braxton broke up. If you caught in her video, she said like, yeah, we had everyone do test shoots at the beginning of Dancing with the Stars just so that they could get a feel for it and see what it was like. And like I feel like she's hinting at like Braxton wasn't going to bring what I needed him to bring to the reality show, so he had to go.
Mhm.
So I think and not even that it's like he's not good enough, but like if they were having problems and she was going to be upfront about them and he was going to want to be a little bit
Right.
more controlled, that's not something she was going to want to do, of like do PR for her relationship on her show. So I think that is part of why they broke up. And I think that's also part of why Alex is going to make a good influencer reality star, because she knows she needs to share her life in an authentic way. But yeah, we'll see.
It's her TikTok grid right now. Her last 3 posts like speak exactly to what you just said, Megan. Last night, she posted a video like of her in her bed crying over her breakup. And then the very next post is her branded announcement with Netflix about her reality show. And the post after that is her get ready with me talking about the reality show. And it's just like, that's it. Like,
And that's the
Those
thing
are
too.
the
I always say
superpower posts.
yeah.
Yeah.
I always say the medium is the message, and like even doing that in Succession, she controlled the narrative. Like we think exactly what she wanted us to think, where she didn't have to release a press release or tell us exactly what happened. We got the message, and she communicated that. And I think that's part of why she'll be so good in this next era, because she can communicate things without saying them outright via all of the channels that she has.
I mean, also just plus one to that, like the difference with her and Kim too is that like she is truly from social media. Like
Mhm.
she rose from that, whereas Kim is from more of like the traditional media route and then like backtracked into social media, right? Like social kind of became like an inherent marketing tool for what was already happening. So I feel like Alex's even digital ecosystem is set up completely differently. She has a different relationship with her fans because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so very excited to watch. I forget when she said it was coming
I
out.
as
Excited
an
it'll be
aside,
this year.
well, I was also just gonna say too, I noticed your bullet here, Emma, about how her podcast is relaunched too. Fascinating. Also, I noticed caught some news. I forget who the name was, but I saw another one of Alex Cooper's podcasters had left unwell recently. Did you guys see that? Yeah.
No.
Mm-mm.
I mean, the first thing that popped into my head, I mean, the first thing we said was like, this reality show is a very long time coming. But I remember when Alix Earle signed on to Unwell, Alex Cooper's, podcast network, they were talking a lot about like the Earl girls and like they did an entire episode about her family. And I feel like it was very much implied that like a show about her family was coming and it never came to be, at least not on Unwell.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
I
I
have a
wonder
theory.
when that
I
didn't
have a
work.
theory there that that's also part of like, Alex is a very successful creator, but she comes from a rich family. And
Mhm.
so I'm sure her dad kind of was like, we're not selling out for this low amount of money. Like, you don't need a TV show. You don't need this. Like, in order to like give the access you need to make this reality show good, it's going to be a big payday. And I get the sense that they really held out for an offer that was worth it for them and kind of knew the value that they were going to bring to a network. And I'm sure that we'll get news about like, maybe not this season, but the next season being like a huge payday for Alix Earle, because I think even bringing the proof of how she helped Dancing with the Stars and how good she was on that show probably
100%.
helped her get a larger paycheck from Netflix than if she had done the signing of the deal before Dancing with the Stars happened. So I think that again is a smart move on her part and why I think she's going to be the next Kim K.
Yeah, she's definitely building the case. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I also, in addition to when her show finally comes out, Melissa mentioned she relaunched her podcast. Megan, you did too. I wonder if we'll
Yep.
be seeing that on Netflix soon because it is video and Netflix is trying to get into the podcast space. So I wonder if we.
One thing I've heard about the Netflix podcast thing that I find interesting is that some are saying that this is a way for Netflix to get around unions and having to pay like union fees and all of that because podcasts are different than scripted projects, or I think even reality shows are a way that they're kind of getting around some of those like payments and stuff. So it's interesting. It's not just like, oh, podcasts are the way. It's also like podcasts are cheaper for us to produce than or like than scripted content. So I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting.
Okay, so TBD, we'll all be watching and waiting for Alex's show to come out. And how her fan. So next topic, I got this article from New York Magazine, YouTube's Vibe Session. So creators despite overall metrics on the platform showing a lot of growth, like increased viewership and all of that, creators are seeing a decline in views and engagement. And what's interesting in this, they're largely blaming it on YouTube heavily pushing shorts and saying like shorts content is what's driving growth on the platform, but like they're not seeing that same growth in their long form content. And I will say, like, I do feel like, Megan, we've talked about this before. Me personally, I feel like YouTube is in like a vibe session for me. It's like very hard. I used to like religiously watch YouTube with my dinner every night. Like me and my roommates would all gather around. And now it's similar to like my experience with early Netflix. I'll spend like half an hour scrolling the platform trying to find something, and then I eventually give up.
Yeah, I think I've experienced something similar with YouTube, and I before we talked about it, thought I was just aging out of that type of content. Like I was like, "Oh, I'm just, in my 30s now and maybe I just don't care to watch creators as much." But I've had a lot of discussions with people where this seems to be the case, and I chalk it up to both like the algorithm in terms of like what the algorithm rewards, like what creators make. It's very much like geared towards shorts and also geared towards what will go viral. And I think what you and I are talking about wanting out of the platform is a little bit more intimate, a little more lifestyle, a little more like quiet and one on one. And I think it's definitely there in pockets, but it just doesn't have it just doesn't know how to serve that to me. And then it doesn't make sense logically the next thing it serves, like from a vibe perspective. It makes sense from like a content perspective where it's like, okay, I watched this creator go look at books, so now you're giving me like this other creator looking at books, but I don't know or like them. Like I want to watch more of this type of vibe. And so I chalk it up to kind of the mentality of like YouTube and shorts and like what works on the platform. And it is very much geared towards like anytime I talk to people about, are you on shorts? They say no, but you know what? And I say, let me guess, your dad loves shorts? And they're like, yes, my dad does love shorts. And that is who is curating the top content on shorts. Everybody's dad. And I wrote a piece last
Oh
summer
my
about
God, that
how the
is
reason
so
the vibe
funny.
sucked is because the vibe of last summer was divorced dad energy. And at the end of the day, a content platform is only as good as the content that's on it and the people who are curating it. And the people who are curating YouTube right now don't get the vibes. So, yeah, until they fix that. Actually,
Yeah.
I think it might be past getting fixed at this point because people have migrated. But if they don't keep up, I think they're in for like a rude awakening in the next few years because they used to be such a center of culture and they're just not anymore. Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I feel like even with all of our clients that we work with, it's always sort of like it just feels like it's such a tool to use in the way of all the different platforms that one chooses, and it's like, okay, this is the long form place. Um, this is the way to like tick that box. How do we feed people to it? Of course, if you're already doing vertical video for Reels and TikTok, it's easy to like repurpose for shorts. And so like I almost feel like this like initial messaging for creators where it's like making it easy to do it and then giving that added benefit of like, okay, well, if you lean into shorts, then you get the benefit of like building out your channel. Um I feel like it's almost it like never, to your point, like it hasn't really set up a like communities and like ways to interact. And I also feel like, I don't know, I would love to have a conversation about this too, but just like when one sets up a YouTube channel, right? Like how do we think about that? Like what is that? Like what is that experience? Like is it set up like in a programming sense? Like should it feel like, it's like your homepage, your home base? Like Are you like moving people around from video to playlist to playlist? Like, I feel like there is so much strategy that goes into it. And like, of course, then there's the whole strategy of like the thumbnail and how it appears in For You and Discovery, because Discovery is like such an enormous component of YouTube. And I don't know, it just feels like so big and so utilitarian and that there are things that are working, but like it, yeah, like I don't know. Yeah, it feels like it's not the primary place
Yeah.
for a lot, if that makes sense. Like I feel like it's like there's formulas that people follow and they're like, okay, I'm like we're a family that puts all of our content online and like we're the like whatever family. And like you can follow that like to-do list. Or everyone is doing a vodcast now because like data came out, like people discover podcasts through YouTube largely. So everyone is videotaping themselves while doing a podcast because it's cheap and easy. And it's a way to like set yourself up for ongoing programming video content in a consistent way. Um, but but positioning the platform as this like utilitarian use as a benefit for creators and it's the gold standard of like actually making money, like I don't know if that's, is that the right way to do it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, YouTube used to be the place that set, like you said, Megan, set the tone of culture. Now that's TikTok. As I mean, I started really watching YouTube when Vine shut down and all the Viners moved over to YouTube and they started making long form content. And it's interesting because back then it was like very obvious that like just having Vine and Instagram wasn't enough. And these creators like worked really hard to migrate all their audiences to YouTube, and that was their home base. And you still see TikTokers creating YouTube channels and releasing long form content. Like we mentioned, Alix Earle like relaunched her podcast this week. But I feel like it's maybe like they're diehard fans, but audiences don't seem to be migrating over the way they were 10 years ago when Vine shut down.
Yeah. And I'm even like zooming way out. I'm like looking at the like 5, 10 year plan of the company. I'm like, what is the YouTube brand going to be if it refuses to be anything but utilitarian? Because then at that point, it could just be Google Video. Like, if that's all they're doing is just hosting videos, if there is no like brand identity around YouTube other than like everything is hosted here, like what's the point of having it be a separate brand in the age of AI where it might serve Google better to have all of those search results on one page?
Oh, that's really interesting. Um, yeah, because I mean, YouTube is 25 now. Is that right? Is it older?
I
How
think
old?
20.
Or is it 20?
20.
Okay,
Yeah.
YouTube is, oh my gosh, it officially hit its second decade. Um, yeah, it's just, I mean, long form content is always going to be there. And
But
audiences are,
everybody has it now.
yeah. And
Like
so
Netflix has it, all of the streaming platforms, like
TikTok has it
Substack.
now.
TikTok is trying to get it, and TikTok has a better algorithm and is killing
Mhm.
them in discovery. Um, Spotify is getting into fitness content, and if they're like the main players in the music industry, so if they like can wrestle that fully away from YouTube, like
Oh, yeah, Spotify is good, I have to say. And their
yeah.
algorithm and the way that they, even the way like they're,
See,
uh,
I think Spotify is at its worst right now, and everyone's
oh,
complaining, and it's still better than YouTube.
I think it's like, I actually really like the AI DJ and like, I think it's good. I feel like I discover stuff on Spotify and I feel like they read my vibe better than a lot of other platforms. And I know it's like specifically through music and like what they're curating for me to listen to. And I think they're really good at it.
Yeah.
Meg feeling Spotify right now.
Um, I actually have I feel like they've gone worse in terms of curation. Like the AI DJ for me kind of just only plays what I've been listening to. Like it doesn't give, it's not doing a good job of discovery. Um, but I still like the brand overall, and I hope that they like turn it around. And I think that they did solve for a huge problem of like we were all stealing music until Spotify came around.
Mhm.
I think they need to figure out a way to actually be more utilitarian. I think they should lean into a subscription service, like selling, like you pay like $30 a month for Spotify, and then you can do like a book of the month type thing where you can like pick a CD to
They're
buy.
really
Like,
leaning into audiobook. It's
Yeah.
like their new
They
thing.
they
I don't
just
know about that
announced
though.
you can now like take a picture of a book of a page, like if you're reading a physical book, and it will automatically jump to that part of the book in your
That's great.
audiobook. So you can like
That's
tandem consume a book, which I thought was really cool because I'm currently doing that.
You guys, as like book girlies, what is your take on listening to a book? Does it count?
I think it does, but it is a different. You're not reading. I'm listening to.
You're not reading
Not
it.
reading.
You're not reading the book.
You're not reading, but I don't want to judge because this is like right now I'm reading a book for my book club. Um, I'm not loving it.
What
It's a
book?
lot of
What book?
Red Rising. It's like the first in a series, and it was a bad pick. Like, we're not going to be I picked the next book and it's not going to be the sequel. So, like, why did we start a series? Um, so it's just like a lot of world building for me knowing that like I'm just sticking around for this one book.
Okay.
And I thought like I think I'm too like I listen to like my junky podcasts too much. So now listening to like this old Irish guy talk about like like how humans are colonizing Mars is just being like it's such a drag for me.
Yeah.
I don't think it counts as reading. I agree, reading and listening are two different things. I'm never gonna correct someone if they say that, but if
Uh-huh.
like I see it's like someone's like, I read 100 books last year, and it's like, no, you listened to 75 books and you read 25 books. Like those are different things. But I don't care enough to police other people's language. But I
Yeah.
try to like say I listen to versus I read because I do think reading is a thing. Like, and because we're in a literacy crisis, I think we need to like call reading reading.
Oh my god, I that is so funny. It's funny, like I I'm in a book club too with a lot of moms, and like one of the moms is like notorious for like all she listens to all of it because she has a really long commute. And it's like
Mhm.
whatever it takes to like
Yeah,
get the book in, you know what I mean? But I have like thought to myself,
totally.
I'm like, well, you didn't really read it. Like, and then the other day we were with the kids and we were driving to like Stinson Beach from where we live, and it's a little bit of a drive. And so we are like, okay, let's try a kid's audiobook off of Spotify because we'd heard other families do it, blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
It's interesting. And we listened to like Captain Underpants, which also like I don't even like that series. Like I don't understand why it's like so popular. Like I'm so confused by it. But
Even as a child, I found it vulgar.
yeah, I don't know. Like I also feel like if you read those, like a lot of them are it's like one of those, it's like a graphic novel, right? Like they're like
Hmm.
cartoons in it. I find it to be super jarring and like all the voices, like even as a kid reading it, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I ever even liked those kind of books when I was a kid. Listening to it was, I just did not like it. But I have to give the narrator credit. Like he was jumping around to different voices and like making it sound as compelling as possible. But anyway, it was just funny because I'm like, we read these often with my son, and I'm like, this is a very different experience. Like, this is completely different. Like, I don't even know if you could compare this. Like, this feels like a play. Like someone is like jumping around on the screen, you know? Um, anyway.
Okay, I want to make sure we hit our next topic.
Yes, yes.
Because I know you guys have a lot of thoughts on this. So the what's taken over my feeds and what took over like every online media outlet for the past week is Gen Z's obsession with the year 2016. I honestly didn't want to talk about this today because I'm just like over it and I don't find like I was in my sophomore year of college in 2016. I was like, I don't know, like it's not that long ago. I'm not loving this trend, but literally everyone has written an article about it and it kind of feels like the elephant in the room. So I was like, fine. I begrudgingly put it on the schedule for today. So, what are your guys' takes on the rise of 2016?
Well, I mean, first, it's not nostalgia. It's 10 years ago. So let's start there.
What
Not even
for
because
nostalgia?
it's not even that it's not soon enough to be nostalgia, because I do think you can be nostalgic for 2016, even though it wasn't that long ago. But I think that the motivation behind this trend is not nostalgia. It's not like, oh, I like, and that's how it's being written about. But as someone who posted about this before it was being written up, like, first of all, it's not driven by Gen Z. It's driven by millennials. Like, I feel like everyone we
Totally
do is
millennial.
millennials. It's
100%.
like very millennial. So you take the Gen Z label off. Gen Z is not obsessed with 2016. They are obsessed with themselves and their own lives. They don't give a shit about what we were doing. It's not nostalgia. It's what I'm calling it is timestamp clout. And I feel like the reason behind people posting is not, oh, I wish I could go back. I think the reason is to say, look how long I've been cool. Look how long I've had a brand on the internet. Look how long I've had a presence. Like, I posted about this and that was what I was posting. I don't want to go back to 2016. Like, you could not pay me. But I was like, look, I was like taking cute pictures at the beach on my Instagram that had really great captions. And here I am in my skinny jeans. And here I am at Earth Cafe with my Beyonce lyrics. And like, that was the vibe of like, look, I've been in LA longer than you guys. I've been cool for a long time. That's what the goal of the trend was, not let's go back, you know? So
Oh
I
my,
think this has been completely conflated to be about something else in the service of doing trendy journalism, but that's not actually what the trend was about. It was kind of just like timestamp clout is what I'm calling it.
oh my gosh. Megan, you're making me laugh because, first of all, it is 100% millennial. It's definitely millennials, like, hearkening back
100%.
as a millennial. Like, it was, again, I was saying to this to you guys before, like, was the year I got married. Like, it's definitely a lot of like that era of Instagram was really like, look at me, look at me. I actually saw a really funny, it was like a meme roundup of this, and they were like, you only like 2016 because it was when you were skinny.
Yes. No,
And
actually,
I think it's true. I was like, I mean, personally, I was like, I looked good in 2016. I was getting ready for my wedding. But
yeah, I really do think it was just
it's
kind
like,
of a trend, an excuse to be like, look, I was hot. You know, like that was pretty much it. Because
yeah.
it's not nostalgia. I think nostalgia is more like that is something that happens, but not anything that happens that's in the past is automatically nostalgia, you know?
How do we get the message out to the journalists who are like, it's like this like internet feeding on itself stuff. And like, you're right. Like, I don't know who wrote about it. Like, I know, Emma, you have these links in here. So it's like Mashable, NBC News, like, they're all just like, it's like, again, the internet eating itself. Like, this doesn't make,
Yes. Yeah.
like, what do we
Yeah.
say? Like, as a cultural insights expert, right? Like, what do you say?
I forget if I said this on here or if I just said this when we were talking about it, but I do think something that has happened with like journalism is that millennials especially grew up wanting to be journalists. And it was the era of kind of first person essay, like, I'm going to talk about this. And then through that lens, I'm going to talk about a bigger social issue. So it's like, I can't talk about like healthcare because like I work at 17 magazine. So instead, I'm going to talk about anorexia and then up level it to
Oh my God.
healthcare. And
Andy
so,
Anderson, 10 things.
yes,
Yeah. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Like every
like,
like coming of age movie from that,
yes.
or rom
Yes.
com.
And so,
Like, it's all about
and
wanting to be a journalist, being taken seriously.
yes, yes. And so I think you have this like this genre of journalism that was created that's like very myopic, first person. I'm doing this trendy thing as the hook that then got up leveled, but we've lost the up level. and now it's just the hook. So anytime something is happening in the realm of women, it's clickbait journalism because there's a whole ecosystem that used to have substance underneath it. Like Gia Tolentino, I feel like used to be someone who like got lauded for doing this really well. And now you have everybody seeing like that as the North Star and then trying to do that, but failing to actually unpack any deeper meaning. And they're just tagging it like, what would the internet tag this as? What is going to go viral? What is going to get clicks on my article? And it's like some certain words like nostalgia or like this killed this or the rise of X. Like we all know these terms are what's going to drive the algorithm. So we overinflate what's happening on the internet sometimes to serve the purpose of writing about it and making it sound interesting.
Not interesting. It's like SEO is dictating.
Literally. And it is like the internet eating itself because sometimes I'm like, I'll have to touch grass and ask my friends who aren't extremely online, like, have you heard about this? And they're like, no. Or they're like, oh, I did see vaguely someone posting about that, but I was confused as to why. And so, yeah, I try to like not fall into this trap of like, just because something's trendy doesn't mean we need to like have a summit about it. It's just a trend.
I love that.
Love that take. I love that take. And yeah, I mean, if you, in the Friday edition, I, as always, will include these as resources for further reading if you're interested. But it is funny, like the articles I did find, they're like 2 paragraphs long. Because what else can we say?
There's nothing to be
oh my
said.
God. There's nothing to be said.
But they're all writing about it. This was just like, I got tired of searching. So I was like, here are 3 or 4.
I almost feel like if we were going to up-level this to anything, it's like, can't women just live? Like, can't we just reminisce on when we were skinny and just like not have it be a whole to-do? Like, why do we have to take everything women are doing online that gets popular and turn it into a think piece, you know?
Yeah. Not everything is a think piece.
No.
And then it is funny because I feel like it kind of branched out because you're right. It is millennials who are doing all the posting because, like, what are the Gen Zs?
Yes.
Like, here's me in middle school. Like, they're not going to do that.
No.
But it because then I feel like it then branched into like what Gen Z is getting wrong about 2016, and like it's so
again, just like that's the evolution of the journalism take versus like the evolution of the trend. Because even if we were going to look at the evolution of this trend, I feel like where I actually saw it start was with moms saying, my son asked to see pictures of him, but I had him in 2016. And then it was like filters. And then I feel like all the millennials who just were like, okay, well, now I'm looking at my 2016 pictures and I want to post pictures, started posting, just like opened the trend up to be less about like, oh, I wish I had pictures that didn't have the dog filter on them. So if we were going to do trend research into this, I feel like that would have been a more like interesting angle to pursue of like, it didn't come out of nowhere of 2016. It came from this very real phenomenon of like, if you are so adhering to the trends of the time and you're not taking care to like record things outside of that, your memories are literally tinged with whatever tech was.
Did we talk about this? I was like, I feel like I might have said this on here, but like I was talking to a group of moms the other day and it was about like I was going through old photos and I was looking at Lucy. So Lucy was born in 2019 and that was very like GIF year. So like I have so many like videos of her and it sucks. It's like and she's like crawling and uncrawling. Like it's so weird. I'm like, what was that? Like it's so
boomerangs.
The boomerangs, yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant. The boomerangs, like her whole 90% of Lucy's like memories are her not like actually talking or cooing. It's like
a boomerang.
Like, it sucks.
Well, you were a woman of my time back then in 2019. Okay, so in our this is me just like giving us a big pat on the back for being geniuses. So last week we had kind of an impromptu conversation about Meta's Metaverse and like how it was a flop and how like we
basically said they should stop trying to make fetch happen.
Yeah.
And
we're like ready. We're ready for Ready Player One. Like, where is that?
Like we saw media of like Ready Player One and seeing that Metaverse and then getting the actual Metaverse. And it was just like floating torsos and sharp graphics. And it was just womp womp. And it never caught. So literally like 3 days after we had that conversation, Meta announced that they are stepping away from their metaverse strategy. They're cutting 1,500 jobs in their like reality labs division and shutting down several virtual reality gaming studios. And instead, they will be pivoting to artificial intelligence and other technologies. And I mean, I'm just like, yeah, it sucked. So this is really
Do we
just
think that Zuck heard what we said about him? That people just aren't going to trust him with the metaverse?
yeah, maybe our open tabs last week was like the straw that broke the camel's back. It's like if MT Deco doesn't like it, then he might as well do it.
We're done. We're done with this. Maybe
I think it's always sad when people get laid off and lose their jobs.
Yeah.
But Facebook is notorious for this. They do this all the time. So I'm hoping they had contingency strategies, and I actually think this will free them up to go work on this technology somewhere else that has a better vision, because I do think this is the future. I do think this is happening. I don't think we're all going to live in the metaverse and work in the metaverse the way Mark had imagined it, but I do think this is like a route for gaming and a lot of things are in the future. So I'm interested to see what these minds will do now that they're free to go work on it in a less evil setting.
Oh my gosh. You know what? Like, yeah, I feel like the trend of like one of the trends of Q1 2026 is spooky energy, by the way. I just want to say it's like the funniest, like one of the funniest comments I've seen regarding like the Beckham drama regarding
Well, we're still, if you, according to Chinese astrology, or yes,
for the year of the
we're
horse.
still in the year of the snake
Oh.
until mid-February. So starting mid-February is like when everything will start picking up again, hopefully. But right now it's still a lot of letting go, getting rid of things. So it
Oh, I
makes
like
sense
that.
they would call it on the metaverse right now and then
It's funny.
go full force into AI.
To your point,
It
Melissa,
goes
though,
super well.
this was very spooky energy. Since this news broke, I've seen people being like, "Oh, R.I.P." and like people are resurfacing like the launch videos that they did of just people walking like their avatars just lonely and aimlessly in this like
So weird. I don't know why it didn't like I don't understand what they were doing the whole time. Like I feel like that I don't know. I also feel like there's a way that could have been done lo-fi that could have like worked, you know, in like a smaller contained way. I'm not running on the strategy or what they were attempting to do or what they were doing. Just seems like I don't know. Yeah, Meta sort of
They tried to own a buzzword. I've been thinking a lot about buzzwords, and I have to.
well, they claimed it.
I've been thinking a lot. Yeah, and I think the thing about AI is no one owns AI, but I feel like the metaverse is already here. It's already happening. There are already metaverse-like spaces that exist, and I feel like by trying to say like we own the metaverse, Facebook actually hindered the adoption of the technology as a whole, just because they're such an uncool brand that no one wanted to check it out.
Yeah, 100%. I like your smile as you say that, May.
Because it's like I think I went off Facebook like 6 years ago. I've been done. So I'm just like, haha, I was right, guys.
Yeah.
I've been done. Yeah, I think they caveated and saying we're not giving up entirely, but like we're severely cutting back on our investment in the metaverse. So we'll see. I do think you're right, Megan. I do think like it is the future. And like we already have it, like Fortnite, Minecraft, those are metaverse.
Roblox.
Yeah, Roblox, like Animal Crossing. These are little worlds that people build for themselves. Yeah, but I do agree with you that like having the Facebook brand on it wasn't great for its success.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really just wanted to shout us out because We called this last week, and a week later, here we are.
We are.
Here we are. So, thank you guys for a great conversation, as always.
You.
For all of you watching,
Thank you.
we will be posting this on Friday to Substack, so you can listen back to the full conversation at your leisure. And it'll have our POVs and additional resources if you want to dive deeper into anything. But thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Thank
Bye,
you. Bye.